I have built a Voron SWITCHWIRE. I built this, and it took only about 2 months, give or take, maybe, with procrastination. Okay, cool, but what is it? Well, glad you asked. It is a Voron SWITCHWIRE built from a ENDER 3 V2, which has been my go-to printer for well about 2 years now. So I thought it finally deserved an upgrade. So what was the good, what was the bad, what was the ugly in this build? And I have plenty of all three of those. Let's start talking about the good things that I have to say about this build and this printer. First, it's really cheap compared to other Voron printers, because on this one, I did the math, I only spent around 360 euros. This includes the printer itself, belts, bearings, rails, the keyback, counterweight that it uses in the back, the screws, the pulley, which is this thing here, and everything else from grease to fans to the hot end, everything. 2. It was really intuitive most of the time. There's a huge community around these things, be it the official Voron Discord, be it PhysiStack on Discord, be it PhysiStack on Instagram. He helped me a lot, or his community helped me a lot with this build. Be it some random strangers on the internet, be it on Reddit. Everywhere you go, you have support for these things. What about the bad things I experienced with this build? Well, there were a couple. First off, kind of sketchy documentations around the Rev 1, Rev 2 and Rev 3 of this ENDER conversion kit. You kinda need to use ABS, which I mostly didn't. I only used ABS for the panels on top and the stealth burner printhead, because I wanted to be sure that everything was working. For everything else I basically just used PETG because it does the job, just not in an enclosed space. Which is our second problem. If you don't have an enclosure, you're gonna have a really hard time printing ABS. Let's get to the ugly. The ugly is I accidentally shorted out and killed one SKR Mini E3 V3, but that was not the fault of this machine, that was my fault completely, because I was tired and wanted to connect a fan. Brushed a fan port on here and the magic smoke escaped. I tried to let my electronics guys from work fix it. You can see that right here. But unfortunately the USB controller on this thing is completely dead. Also, little PSA. The thermal paste is not well applied. So do I have any test prints? Yeah, kinda. I printed this muscular EV with only supports where they were necessary. These overhangs on the ears are pretty much perfect. I'll blend in some pictures, but the stealth burner is a worthy upgrade for everyone out there. It's a superb printhead and it looks amazing. If you plan on building this printer yourself, you should invest in proper grease for the rails. I used very thick grease, which is not suitable for the job. It just gets everywhere. It's messy. It really likes to just collect in the holes of the rails and not get used. So just use thinner grease, or maybe just leave the factory grease on, which I, in my infinite wisdom, did not do. Also, do you like this new height, this setup? I've got a new table. I can adjust it so I can stand here and you can see the printers behind me. Maybe even a Voron Trident built out of this thing sometime soon. Or, if you remember, I'm still trying to get this to run. On this project I'm gonna make a whole different video, including 3D modeling and printing the parts for it, the issues I discovered while designing those parts, and if it worked at all. But back to the SWITCHWIRE. I do have one more problem with it. The probe. The probe on this thing is weird. I'm using the Omron probe which is this yellow inductive probe. I'm 99% sure I got the wrong one, and it's really inaccurate, causing bad first layers. So I'm currently working on my first upgrade for the upgrade, an unclicky probe which is connected and disconnected via a servo motor and magnets. So what is my conclusion? Would I build this printer again? Yes, absolutely. But it has its things I wish I knew earlier. Not everything on the official release is the best thing. I, for example, had issues where the Pi and the BTT board were too crammed in the back of the printer, so I had to butcher a USB cable to connect them to, which led me to put the Pi in the front of the printer and run a USB cable back to the BTT board. Community mods are everything when you are building this printer, or any Voron printer in that matter. You have to get a little bit creative from time to time, because not everything will always fit, but you'll find a way. And with that, I wish you a good morning, good day, or good evening, depending on where you are, and we'll see you in the next one.